we are duty-bound to ask, what is man's purpose? This question may be resolved by examining man's abilities. Various creatures have particular talents. A spider has the capacity to weave a web, an ant can store food. Man has numerous and varied capacities. But the one that distinguishes him from all of the other living beings is his faculty for reason. It is only in the development of his mind that a man can realize his potential. All his other functions merely assist in assuring his survival, so that he will have the opportunity to perceive truth and discern wisdom. And the greatest of all truths and the pillar of all wisdoms is the knowledge of God, His oneness, and all fields of iniquity related to this. The purpose of other branches of knowledge is solely to prepare one to approach the study of the divine. Thus, man's chief function is to comprehend godliness. However, this is not sufficient. True scholarship demands the perfection of one's deeds. One's behavior must match one's insights. Godliness is unrecognizable in someone chasing after his lusts, abandoned his own sensuality. Only man who unites theory with practice has achieved the ideal. So here he's in essence saying the same thing that the Chazon Ish has been teaching us, which is that it's not just enough to learn the halacha, the laws themselves and so on, but you actually have to perfect your character traits. Because only the combination of the two would make a person godly, would make a person holy, would make a person something above the animal, if you will. Now, where may we learn the theory and where may we conclude the practice? In the words of our sages. The words of our sages blaze the trail before us up the mountain of God to the pinnacle of piety. The lone soul in a study hall, poring over the Gemara, delving into halacha, charting his own observance. He is the culmination of creation. Thus he is the final purpose, God's portion from all of his handiwork. The Holy One, blessed is he, has nothing in his world but 4 amot of halacha. So here he's saying that the pinnacle, the best of all creation, is the people that are delving into the Torah itself. Now you're going to say, you have everything, you have animals, you have plants, you have trees, you have houses, you have weapons, you have tools, and so on and so forth. Everything has a purpose. Great. Surely man has a purpose. Great. Now, how does a person know this purpose? By learning Torah. Now, if a person delves literally their entire self to the learning and practicing of Torah, this is the highest caliber of people in society. So we already know that everyone has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. To find out what the purpose is, you have to learn the Torah itself. The one that learns it and applies it is the best of all, is the best of creation. But then at the same token, it leaves us with a question. What about the guy, the girl, that doesn't learn and doesn't even apply? Are they useless? Are they meaningless? That's the question, and the Rambam is going to answer. This raises the question, certainly, that is with such a person being exceedingly rare. I mean, a person that delves all of his life to learning Torah and practicing it is rare. So what is the purpose of the multitudes of people who do not measure up to this idea? The purpose is twofold. One, to keep the sublime individual company, meaning to form a supportive community around them. To have people in the world. He needs a wife, he needs children, he needs people that live in his community to do all types of things. 2, to serve such individuals by cultivating the land, manufacturing tools, and producing fabric, clothes, and the like. If the men of learning had to do all of this on their own, even a lifetime of Metushelah would not suffice to master all the necessary skills. Moreover, such preoccupations would leave them no time to study Torah or perform mitzvot. So here the Rambam says something that is politically incorrect to the highest capacity, but 100% truth. He says, what are all these rest of the people in the world? What are they for? They're not all learning Torah, they're not all practicing. He says they still have a purpose. They still have a purpose in God's world. What? For Hashem to use them to create the world that's going to serve these Torah scholars. Because the Torah scholar is the one that's giving life to the world. But in order for them to live, they need somebody to build buildings, to make food, to build stores, and so on and so forth. And the Rambam gives an example. He says, for instance, sometimes we'll see that a person is a Torah scholar and he's not succeeding in life as far as money and so on, whereas the guy that is not going according to the Torah is succeeding in a very big way. Some fool, some person that's even anti-Torah is succeeding in a big way, and the Torah scholar is struggling, barely making $1,000 a month. So how could that be? The Rambam says, no, this is not a confusion. It's not a confusion at all. Why? Because sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu will use these people that are succeeding in a very big way in order to serve the scholar. How? He'll give the fool the money, the resources, and the inclination to build an extraordinary tower in the middle of nowhere. Because he wants to make money, he wants to show that he's succeeded, he wants to have something, right? But why does Hashem allow this person to do this? Because one day, 400 years later, a Torah scholar, a tzaddik, is going to walk by and he's going to need the shade. That's how important a Torah scholar is in the eyes of Hashem. That's how important a person that's righteous in the eyes of a Kadosh Baruch Hu that delves into the Torah is in the eyes of Hashem. They are the lifeline of this world. Im lo briti yomam v'layla, chukot shamayim v'aretz lo samti. The prophet says in the name of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, if not for my covenant, meaning if not for my Torah, day and night, the rules of the world will cease to exist. Whether it be gravity or the different elements of the periodic table, whatever it is, all of this stuff will cease to exist if not for somebody learning Torah. So that means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will sometimes give a multi-billionaire or even some average Joe billions of dollars, millions of dollars, and an inclination and desire to build a huge tower or a bridge or a whole city just because there's going to be a Torah scholar that will benefit from it. Such is the value of the Torah scholar.